Здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Grim Fandango Remastered. And yep, just taking up the Let's Play right after we left off.
Alright, so I'm ready to sail.
On what?
On the Limbo, man. Let's go.
Manny, the Limbo's not a passenger ship. She's small cargo, son. And every hand on board works.
I'll work.
What are your skills?
Sales and restaurant management.
Oh, hey, there is one opening on the Limbo's crew.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's in the engine room. And your buddy Glottis would be perfect for it, but he'd have to get his own tools.
Okay, if I get Glottis some tools, can we board?
He can, yes. No offense, Manny, but there's just no place for you aboard the Limbo. She's fully manned already. In fact, her whole crew's on board, ready to sail at dawn. Except for that one guy.
Who's the one guy who hasn't boarded yet?
Yeah, well, Seaman Naranja's a little late, but he'll be here before they sail.
What job did Naranja have?
He ran the galley.
Aha! Restaurant management.
Yeah, it's similar to what you're doing now, except the fish is fresher on the Limbo.
What if Naranja doesn't show up? I can fill his spot, right?
Manny, you're not even in the Maritime Union.
I know that, and you know that, but we're two guys who can keep secrets, right?
Glottis is exempt, but the captain will ask for your card. And if you don't have one, they'll serve you to the sharks like chum. And what's worse, I'll get fined. It's a tough union, boy, and I don't mess with them.
So let me get this straight. If I get Glottis some tools,
Then I can get him a job on the Limbo.
and if Seaman Naranja doesn't show up for work,
But he will,
and I get a Maritime Union card,
which you'll never get.
then I can sail on the Limbo in the morning.
Jeez. I guess so.
What kind of tools does Glottis need?
Authentic CB equipment only.
Where do I get authentic CB equipment?
Why don't you ask a CB? Afraid of getting stung?
Where do you think Naranja is?
Probably home selecting recipes for the trip.
What's going on in that bottle? A tugboat?
This happens to be a perfect scale replica of the SS Lumbago. I'm just having a little trouble getting the walking beam to fit in the neck here.
That's funny, because a lumbago is usually more of a problem in the lower back than the neck.
Yeah,
Nothing. I'd better go finish packing.
Aye, you do that, son.
Hey, let me see that.
I'll break it over your head if you reach for it again.
I don't think I can get in the ship right now.
Yeah, maybe Velasco wouldn't notice. I never was that good at dang these short legs.
Alright, now we have to get back to the club, I think. But I can't remember how I get there. Pick it up. Or interact with it or something. I wish the head could do something, but the head's just the head.
Not picking that up.
There you go.
It's strange, the characters in this game don't like to go into crowded areas, almost as if it's too hard to render them.
Ugh, I'm not sure what I hate more, crowds or cats, but I'm definitely not going near either one today. Wow, somebody really liked this cat. They don't have much use when they're alive, and stuff, they don't have much more. I don't need one of those. Beloved Sandspoof, this regal and majestic feline, was a record holder for speed and a favorite of the crowds here in Rubacava for many years, until her career was suddenly and tragically cut short on the second week of the racing season, when the airship Olivia 1, on its maiden voyage, crashed onto the track mid-race and exploded. Many bereaved fans testified later that before the blimp hit, Sandspoof was in the lead.
Well, there you go. More than you ever wanted to know about Sandspoof the cat.
Fuchi, that smell es peor que la muerte. It says revolutionary design leaves can edges safe and smooth for Kitty.
Well, that was weird.
This cat litter really needs changing. See, this is why I don't have a pet. Tempting as it is, I just can't bring myself to jump in the giant unclean kitty litter.
Oh man, that voice actor. God, I can't remember what his name is. I looked it up a couple days ago, but he just does such a great job.
Hey!
We're about ready to start. It's
Looks like a great night for cat races.
Snowballs Johnson L. Cat Waddy's Wampum.
You hear the cats racing? We were always so sad that we never showed the cat racing. That was for budget reasons, obviously. We didn't want to cut the actual cats, but I wanted to have giant cats running on a track like that.
And the idea of a cat's racing being herdable enough to race is pretty. Why cats?
Why cats? There was a... Why cats?
I mean, I just remember making the music going, well, well, at some point, because you're near the kitty litter.
But here comes a challenger. Snowballs Johnson L.
Hello?
Someone's gaining on the
Oh,
outside.
hi!
Scratch
Betting
ball
stub,
Johnson.
please.
What?
I need the betting stub for the race you're interested in.
Interested in how?
Interested in seeing the photo finish file for, of course.
Oh, I don't have a betting stub.
Oh, okay, bye.
Catching up. I am not spot in first place.
Speaking of database, I mean, that was really how we accomplished so much, right? Is from an organizational standpoint of the music, of the sound effects, and of the voice. And I remember, especially for voice, how critical it was. And what we in the sound department would do is inherit and share the use of the database with the voice department. And you could do a search and isolate all the lines for, say, Manny, or isolate all the lines that needed to have reverb baked into them, or another type of processing. And then you would just divide and conquer and just master everything in groups and bring it all together, have a single reference for volume, and use the database to keep organized and isolate different found sets of different criteria.
Here we go. That's how they organize all the sounds.
Well, Manny Calavera, you never come up here to see me anymore.
Well, I thought you could use the company with everybody gone for the Day of the Dead.
In that case, Manny, why don't you stick around until 6? That's when I get off.
Ah, Carla. Busy night?
Hardly. Everybody's gone home for the holiday already. This place is dead, and I'm bored, Manny. Bored.
What's the shuttle waiting for?
They're just cleaning it, but they're very thorough. We run a tight ship here, you know.
Can I try out your metal detector?
What's your sudden interest in metal detectors, Manny?
I think it would look cool on my utility belt.
Well, I'll show it to you when I'm on break. How's that?
When's your break?
Dawn.
Oh, that's too late. I'm shipping out tonight.
Yeah, right. I've fallen for that line too many times.
I think it's time for your break. We could slip in the back for a little drink. You can tell me all about your job, the danger, the metal detectors.
That back room's all business, Manny, and so am I.
What kind of business goes on back there, Carla?
Strip searches. And you don't qualify.
Why don't I qualify for a strip search?
Manny, I agree it would help pass the time, but we have procedures and rules here, and you never know when they're watching. I can only strip search people when a regular search turns up nothing.
Hey, it's worth a try.
Ooh, I love this part. Sir, if you will, please place all of your belongings on the security desk. Oh, you're clean. Rats, Manny, I almost got to strip search you.
Okay. Yeah, I remember there you have to eat metal or something. I don't know, something with metal.
Carla. Why don't you come by the club anymore?
Well, to tell you the truth, Manny, it's your little coat check girl. All that bubbly energy, I just want to strangle her.
I've tried that. It doesn't stop her. So, is it time for your break yet?
I told you not till dawn. Kind of romantic, though, don't you think?
Her character's a little bit inspired by, I think it's Big Sleep too, where Bogart is hiding from someone. He needs to hide in a bookstore.
Right.
And he goes in there, and there's a woman in there, and she's really into him.
Chippa Ben-Hur 1863 edition, the one with the errata on page 47 or something.
Wow, that is a memory, you know.
Well.
And it's just really, he looks at her, and he's like, she seems like she's really attracted to him, if I remember correctly. And he like takes off her glasses and is like, yeah, okay. Like it was really kind of messed up scene, but
well, it's that you know that was the subtext of the noir film.
And then he pulls the shades.
Hanky panky.
Yeah, the hanky panky. Yeah, they lock the door and pull down the shades, and that's a little bit what this scene is all a reference to or inspired by.
Because she's telling him her story.
Are you sure I can't just...
Don't touch.
When did you put in a floor safe?
That's our new contained detonation chamber in case someone tries to come through here with a bomb.
Since when does Rubacaba have a terrorism problem?
This town's changing, Manny. It's getting tougher every day.
It's locked.
Nope.
I'm a strong believer in things that should be, when you're making stuff, it should be something that could only been made by you or in that group of people, and at the time you made it in the place you made it.
Yes.
You know? I think Grim is definitely that case. That's one of the great things about Grim. I think it's a collection of amazing artists like you and the visual artists and the programmers and the actors and everything that came together for that game was just such a was almost an overwhelming distraction of amazing artists coming together. Like oh my God, look at that background. Oh my God, listen to this music. Oh my God, listen to that voice. So I think it makes that game really special. But it also has a lot of personal details that are just kind of woven into it that makes it so like even if we were making this game from scratch with the same intentions today, it would just be completely different.
Yeah, I like the commentary. It's interesting. Usually I don't like commentary that much. Like I almost never listen to the commentary on DVDs or anything like that. The only exception being, or video games, the only exception being is for the South Park guys, because their commentary is always hilarious.
I don't know why there's so much union jokery in games that I've worked on, but I've always found it maybe because it was a big part of like movies that air like on the waterfront, you know, and not so much unions, but mobster corrupt unions.
Right.
There's always a big part of that, going on, and then also like worker, anti-worker, communist themes going on. Like it was all tied together, and I don't know if that all sprung out of On the Waterfront or other movies.
Well, On the Waterfront though was kind of, it was sort of championing the plight of the working man, but it also was talking about the dark side of the union thing for sure.
But it was a corrupt union. It was a mob-run deal.
That's true.
I know that statue's supposed to mean something about justice, but I don't know.
I remember at the time it was a big debate, like, should we require P100 or P133, like penny 100, penny 133? It's like, Nope. Your target platform is whatever was on sale at CompUSA for $500 last year.
It's like a P70.
Yeah, it's like P60. I think is what we ended up with as the minimum spec. We ended up going for P90 at the end, but it was one of the things where it's like those kind of constraints where it's like you really could pull it off with all the kinds of machines we had in the company, but the average consumer who we wanted to sell the game to did not have a machine like that. So that's one of the vagaries of the PC market that still persists, you know.
Yeah, and you wouldn't, when you think about Grim, you wouldn't necessarily think, but there's like all hand-coded assembly rasterizers in here. There's hand-coded assembly blitters in here. Lots of like layout, asset management. This was a tricky game to optimize and to get running acceptably on the kind of machines that people were going to be running it on. But it doesn't come off like the same technical challenge as a Jedi Knight or something like that. And it wasn't.
It's different kind of technical challenge. Much more kind of
it was really getting all this weird stuff happening at the same time.
What a horrible jail cell. Then again, it sure taught Glottis a lesson that time. Reward offered for cargo stolen from shipyard receiving area, including a large suitcase bearing the initials HL.
I remember one time showing Pete something. He said, well, I don't like it, but I don't know why. And which is the most helpful criticism that you can ever get, because you don't know how to fix the thing. But I'm being facetious.
Now my cats, they're just freaking out right now.
Late night at the morgue, isn't it, Membrillo?
Fighting and biting each other.
You know I can't sleep with John Doe's on the slab, Manny. If I don't ID these rose gardens tonight, I won't be ready for the 2 that come in tomorrow. And before you know it, I'm up to my ass in azaleas.
Oh, Membrillo, my brother actually makes Membrillo, which is a quince jelly that you eat with cheese. Membrillo means quince. Well,
Sure doesn't sound like it.
Membrillo.
Oh, Membrillo, that's different.
Yeah. What'd you think I said?
Oh, I was hoping you would talk about the voice actor.
What a sad story. These stews sprouted and no one came down to claim them?
Death makes sad stories of us all.
How's business?
Booming, unfortunately. More crime every day. And more sproutings like these. Something's happening back in El Morro, I think. And its dark hand is finally reaching us here in Rubacava.
What exactly are you looking for?
I'm digging for a treasure that part of me does not wish to find. For when I uncover that sad doubloon that tells me who this poor soul is, my reward is not riches, but the chance to make a phone call and break somebody's heart. Of course, with this equipment, the search could go on for some time.
Can I help?
Sure. Grab hold of this leaf right here. Manny?
I can't do it.
I know. I was just testing.
How do you do this job?
Without becoming jaded, you mean? My secret to happiness, Manuel, is that I have the heart of a 12-year-old boy. I keep it over here in a jar. Would you like to see it?
No.
Sorry. Old coroner joke.
Do you ever worry that your job is getting to you, Membrillo?
Well, forensic botany is a trying job, Manny. But have you ever spent much time here with a florist? In life, they became florists because they love flowers. But here, a flower is a symbol of pain, of death within death. Their conflicted feelings build and build, and eventually, they become quite mad.
Thanks for the tip. I guess I'll send balloon bouquets from now on. Membrillo, why do you stay in town? Why don't you head off toward the Ninth Underworld?
Manny, you can only search for something for so many years before you stop believing in it altogether.
You don't believe in the Ninth Underworld?
Why do you think we're all here in Rubacava?
Because you're waiting to earn off your time or you can't afford passage or...
Manny, we've given up. All of us. When you've been here long enough, you will too.
Well, don't let me bother you.
Always nice to have visitors.
I don't think picking flowers is really appropriate right now. Any leads?
I know it's a poor coroner who blames his tools, Manny. But how am I supposed to turn up anything with the equipment they give me?
Hey, I had a government job for years, man. I know how you feel.
But yeah, a while back, Jasmine and I met this guy who was really passionate about UFC. And it was like, he was like going on and how it was like the greatest sport ever and how it was the most pure and so on and so forth. So, yeah, what he said, oh yeah, I found the club. But he said that UFC is the most pure of all sports because if you take away all the sticks and balls and everything, that's what you're left with is hand-to-hand combat, which I guess, you know, is true. But now we always say that's what our kittens do. They're doing UFC. It's in nature. They're doing kitten UFC when they're fighting each other. Just a little inside joke. I know, I left that commentary. Oh well, I'll come back to it. Let's talk to Gladys. Woo! No, I definitely need that thing.
I remember animating Manny sliding down the banister. And I remember Tim kept calling for something.
Gold flakes.
He's got to look cool.
With me
and so I did that, and I don't think he was ever really happy with it. So I don't know. Apparently don't know what cool means.
Got to put some Ray-Bans on him.
Yeah. I mean, Manny's a suave guy, but I don't know if suave guys slide down banisters. Maybe I should have done it slower.
I guess Gladys is good at anything that uses keys. I just had a run-in with Domino and Meche. We're leaving town.
What? How?
Domino's got Meche. We're going after them tonight.
What should I do?
Just sit here until I get a boat.
Sit here. Check. Okay.
What's that you're playing?
Oh, this is just a little, love song for a special lady.
Sing a little bit of that song, why don't you?
Well, I only have this part. Bone wagon.
I like it. You know, when we leave, I'm actually gonna miss this place.
Aw, Manny, why can't we just stay here? We got our fancy club, we got 3 squares a day. Max lets me take the bone wagon out on his kitty track once a week. Plus, we look good in these clothes.
Gladys, I can't live in this world forever. It's not where I belong. I've gotta find Meche and help her, because if it weren't for me, she'd have been on that train a year ago.
Okay, Manny.
Well, I'll let you get back to practicing.
I don't need to practice, man. I'm good.
This is the guy I need to talk to. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh wow!
See what they have to say.
About that mural. That was supposed to be really good. Oh, well, thank you. I did that. Did you? No, I did, but it was based on, like a Gustav Klimt. But then I also did those really bad textures on the roulette wheels. No, but I remember Adam Smisser actually getting angry at me. He was like, "Don't paint light in the paintings."
Who got angry with you?
Oh, not really angry. I mean, he only hit
You probably felt the same way as when Tim said, Manny's not cool enough, so I got that banister.
Yes.
Just make it cool. Canadian animator.
What's that about?
That's now so not cool.
Mind if I sit down, Charlie?
Of course not, Manny. I mean, it is your club, right?
Right. So what are you doing in it? Didn't I tell you not to come back until you can pay your bar tab?
Oh, or they kicked me out of that cat track for printing fake betting stubs. So now I have to come here, Manny, which I love,
Chowchilla Charlie.
Oh, yes.
That name comes from an actual person I know who was from Chowchilla, which no one remembers anymore, but when I was a kid, an entire school bus full of children was kidnapped in the town Chowchilla. Do you remember that? In
No.
California.
Wow.
A school bus full of kids was kidnapped, and the people demanded ransom. And it was crazy to think about. It was on the news. It was
Jeez.
Chowchilla. Everyone was talking about this kids, and eventually they were found and rescued, and I don't believe they were hurt.
Mhm.
So I can talk about that story now. And
Yeah.
all the kids went home. But and then years later, I just a friend of ours was dating this guy named Charlie, and he was from Chowchilla, and I was like, oh wow, were you on the bus? He was like, no, I was sick that day. I was sick. I didn't go to school that day, and so I didn't get kidnapped.
Wow.
And we always referred to him as Chowchilla Charlie.
Wow.
And he's now in the game as Chowchilla Charlie, even though his personality is not as sleazy as this character. He was fine, outstanding, although very lucky guy.
Yeah.
But this is our Peter Lorre character.
How did you print fake betting stubs?
With this. Isn't she beautiful? The last time I was incarcerated, I shared a cell with the most dishonest con man I ever met. He was strictly small time, and I managed to steal this from him quite easily.
Thanks. You never know when this may come in handy.
Hey, give that back to me, Manny.
Maybe once you settle your bar tab, hey, Charlie?
Oh, Manny.
What else can you counterfeit?
Nothing. Anything.
So can you make passports?
Manny, you still think like a living man in so many ways. No soul needs a passport. We are all citizens of the same nation, and our king rides a pale horse.
So no passports?
No. No, that little hologram is so tricky, you know?
How about driver's licenses?
Sure. Just, give me a recent picture, $50 in, about 2 weeks, okay?
Can you make reasonable union cards?
Manny, are you going to start moonlighting, or are you just looking to hang out with the sailors?
Can you do it or not?
I have a deal for you. If you can retrieve my money from Maximino, I can make you president of that crooked union.
I don't need to be president. And why does Max have your money?
I put a whole suitcase of it up for collateral on a rather large wager last month. The race was fixed, Manny. They stole my money like common thieves. Here, take this VIP pass and use it to get into the High Rollers Lounge. They won't let me in there anymore. There should be a safe somewhere in the wine cellar, and my suitcase should be in it.
And you can get me a card tonight.
If you make it back, Manny, the card will be on the table.
See ya.
Le numéro gagnant, le 2, noir, père manque.
Everything okay down here?
I'm going to need some more tips if Monsieur Lucky does not call it a night soon.
I just want to have a really international flair. I guess because Casablanca was very international. But also I love the game Last Express. Last Express, you're on a train. And there's a lot of listening to conversations that are not presented at full volume because you're eavesdropping.